Hi, welcome to the Scrapbook Express Lane video about Coordinations cardstock. I've got 4 different types of Coordinations cardstock to share with you today, although there are several other kinds. Coordinations cardstock is 80-pound cardstock, and it has a coordinating color on the inside. Unlike other cardstocks that are either white inside or the same color all the way through, Coordinations has something special going on inside. The All in the Family collections have they're just a basic color of cardstock, but then when you get to that inside core color in a variety of ways, which I'll show you in a minute, you can actually see the coordinating color inside. In this case, it's a softer sort of pinkish shade. All of these cardstocks have a canvas texture. They're hard to see on the solid colors, but on this, from the vintage collection, you can already see that canvas texture very well. It's got a distressed finish on the top. It already has 2 colors, but when you get to that inside color, you'll see that there's a coordinating shade. A very fun collection is called Black Magic, and when you first look at it, it just looks like plain black cardstock. But when you look on the inside, or on the other side, you'll notice there is another color. This cardstock is great for making cards because when you fold it, you can do all the fun distressing techniques on the outside, but then the card on the inside is already a lighter color, which is really easy to use with a regular ballpoint pen. You don't need to add any extra panel of paper or anything special on the inside. And again, there's that pretty color showing through. These come in a variety of pastel colors all the way up to bold and bright colors, all with the black on top. The newest line from Coordinations is called Whitewash, and it's exactly that. It's a color with a very gentle white wash over the top, and again you can see that canvas texture showing through. And again, when you expose that inside, there's a beautiful color. There are several ways to get to that inside color, the easiest of which is the tearing that I've been showing you. You can use tearing rulers that are made especially for that. I love to use my basic gray precision files. I can do all kinds of distressing to the edge, like that. There are several different types of edge distressors on the market. Tim Holtz has one. This is the Heidi Swapp one. It basically has a little blade in there, and as you run it along the edge, it roughens up the edge of the cardstock, allowing that core color to come through. You can do as little of this or as much as you like. If you don't have one of these, you can use an open pair of scissors, but obviously be careful because they can be sharp and you don't want to cut yourself. You can use Cuttlebug embossing folders or quick cuts. There's several different types on the market. This happens to be a Cuttlebug one. I put a piece of Black Magic cardstock in here, ran it through my die cutting machine on the correct setting, and then when you take it out, you can see that beautiful color showing through. And again, I use my basic gray precision file, this flat one, and I just sanded off that black on top of the embossed part and dusted it off, and there was that core color. Quick tip about this: if you run out of usable filing area, all you have to do is pull off the handle and flip it around to the other side, and you get a couple more inches on both sides of usable file. It stretches this tool a little bit longer. Another way to use the Coordinations cardstock is to antique it just by crumpling. Just crumple it up in your hands, lay it flat, use a piece of sandpaper or a sanding tool of some kind and sand it off. Where the high ridges are, that's where you'll be able to sand off and see that core color. If you want even finer creases in the paper, then use something like this mini mister. Any type of little tiny spray bottle, just spritz water, plain water, on your project, and it allows the fibers of the paper to break down a little more so that when you crumple it, the creases become a little bit finer and you can sand them off and you get this look. I like using this kind of look on rodeo pages, rough and tumble little boy, camping, anything where you want that kind of rough look. They're also great for heritage pages depending on your needs. Here are a few cards that I've made using the different types of Coordinations cardstock. The first one uses their regular color line. This is just a pretty piece of burnt orange and it's torn on the edge. You can see that lighter shade coming through. This card features Black Magic. Again, I use the Cuttlebug embossing folder because they're really one of my favorite things. You can see that sort of pinkish red coming right through here in the heart design. I did a really subtle sanding on this one. I didn't want it to come through and be really bold. Just a little bit of a hint of that texture and color there. I also have this card, which uses a tree and a regular sheet of brown cardstock from Coordinations. And I used the back end, here's a little fine paintbrush, I used the handle end and scored along the tree trunk to give a little bit of faux wood grain. And then again, I used my file and just sanded it off, and it helped give that texture, make it look like wood grain. The last card that I want to share with you is made with whitewash. The entire card was made out of whitewash. You can see the pretty soft white on the top, and then on the inside is a very pretty bold shade of pink. I actually wrapped my embossing folder around the outside, just the front part of this card, like this, and I ran it right through my die cutting machine. I opened it up this way so that the embossing folder wouldn't even touch the back part of the card, and I ran it straight through my machine, and when I took it off, there was an embossed panel right on the front of the card. And again, just my favorite little sander here, I just sanded all that embossed part off, and you can see that little bit of pink popping through. And then I finished the card with just standard other scrapbook products like flowers and bling and rub-ons. I've got one extra card to share with you that will be on the blog, and all the supply list will be there also, and that's also made with the whitewash type of Coordinations cardstock. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at the blog, and be sure to check back for another one of our Express Lane videos soon. Thanks for watching.